As much as I love a proper premium flagship smartphone, we're definitely not all minted enough to afford a shiny, bonerific Galaxy S20, and that's just fine because it's 2020 now, and for less than half the cost of Samsung's expensive handsets, you can easily bag a bloody brilliant blower pack and all of the smart features you'll ever need. If you've got a spare 400 quid sat in your piggy bank, you'll find you've got an awful lot of choice. It's a veritable smartphone buffet, in fact. So here's my personal pick of the very best mid-range mobiles right now to help you pick the tastiest morsels and avoid those dry, flavourless meatballs and the kind of parfast salad that's all limp and minging from being sat under the lamps all day. Actually, this whole buffet analogy is a bit weird. Maybe just cut this whole thing and just skip straight to the bit about smashing the like button and bashing the subscribe or whatever. So Google's Pixel 3a was already pretty solid value for money when it first emerged for 400 quid, and it's even more essential now that it's dropped to around the £300 mark. Of course, the Pixel 4 flagship phone from Google was a massive letdown purely because of the god-awful battery life, but thankfully that's an issue that did not plague the earlier Pixel 3a, and the fact that it doesn't drain your savings is a massive bonus. If you're after a dependable camera phone for not much cash, you really can't go wrong. This thing can capture incredible photos with zero effort, just like its bigger bros. I have done a full Pixel 3a camera review, so go check that out for all you need to know. And on top of the smart optics, this is one of the most compact Android phones around at just 5.6 inches, making it pleasantly comfortable to fondle, and the neat, tidy design definitely gets a thumbs up too. You still have that gorgeous stock version of Android 10, just like the flagship Pixels, which is just as tidy as those aesthetics. And while some may prefer a bigger display for consuming media on the go, the Pixel 3a's screen is admirably crisp and produces wonderfully poppy colours. You even get a headphone jack, huzzah! If you find that you do want a bigger screen, then you can always grab the Pixel 3a XL model these days for about 350 quid. This also boasts a larger battery than the standard 3a, while both of these Google phones are powered by the Snapdragon 660 chipset, which definitely does the job for everyday shenanigans. But of course, bear in mind that the Pixel 4a and the 4a XL are lingering on the horizon. They should probably launch around the April 2020 area. So if you can hang on a little bit longer, those should boast a specs upgrade and hopefully won't bring any of that troublesome battery life issues from the Pixel 4. And for around the £350 mark, you can pick up Huawei's excellent Nova 5T smartphone instead. This packs surprisingly similar specs to Huawei's P30 flagship phone from last year, but with a far less terrifying price tag. That means you get a Kirin 980 chipset, which may be getting on a bit now, but it's still got more than enough grunt to handle games, multitasking and everything else you chuck its way. And meanwhile, that 3750 mAh battery provides strong returns, so you'll easily find you've got enough juice to last you through an intensive day. The rest of the Huawei Nova 5T setup also impresses, including that 6.26-inch IPS screen, which is crisp, bright and customizable. Like the Pixel, there are other phones in this roundup which are better suited to watching movies on the go with their more spacious displays, but I'd happily kick back with a flick on this blower any day. Plus, you get that same feature-stuffed MIUI 10 launcher as the premium P30 flagship phone, which is just as lovable as ever. And like the other phones in this roundup, I've done a full unboxing and an in-depth review of the Huawei Nova 5T, so go have a squint at that for all you need to know. If you want to save yourself a little bit more cash, you can also grab the Honor 20 Pro instead for around 300 quid. And this is one of the more premium handsets from Huawei's sister company, offering a very similar software experience as well as that same nippy Kirin 980 chipset and another bright and punchy 6.26-inch screen. From the responsive and convenient edge-mounted fingerprint sensor to the mighty 4000 mAh battery, there's a lot to love here, while I'm definitely also a fan of the capable quad-lens rear camera. You get ultra-wide-angle, telephoto and macro lenses for impressive flexibility, while the usual massive selection of bonus modes will help you to get great-looking snaps and home movies in basically any conditions. At this sort of price point, it is a veritable bargain. And for a similar sort of price, you can also grab yourself the excellent value Oppo Reno 2Z, which again offers a flagship-style experience without the need for any black market organ sales. This durable wee blighter is coated in Gorilla Glass 5 front and back, and it certainly sports a premium look and feel. That 6.5-inch AMOLED screen pumps out gorgeous Full HD Plus visuals, complete with a built-in fingerprint sensor, and there's bugger all notch action either thanks to the snazzy pop-up selfie cam. So the Reno 2Z is definitely a killer choice for media lovers on a budget. No bother on the performance or battery life front either. You get a Helio P90 chipset stuffed inside, which can cope with anything you throw at it, and of course you got a 4000 mAh cell as well, which will do you a full day, no worries. And while the quad-lens rear camera doesn't offer any telephoto smarts like the Honor 20 Pros does, it's still a perfectly dependable setup for your everyday snaps. Now, if that pop-up camera action really got your juices flowing, then you should definitely check out the Motorola One Hyper as well. This motor blower once again costs around the £300 mark, and yet it boasts some unique features like this snazzy glowing ring piece on the back end which doubles as a notifications light. It's only plastic, sure, but I do like the rather attractive design on the Hyper, while the 6.5-inch Full HD Plus display is another winner for movies on the move, again with a full view notchless finish. There's even some Dolby Audio action and a dedicated headphone jack. The hefty 4000 mAh battery won't be emptied by nightfall unless you really punish this thing. And yeah, the Motorola One Hyper can also cope with gaming on the go thanks to that Snapdragon 675 chipset and 4GB of RAM. Definitely no complaints for the camera tech either, which is great for everyday use. Once again, I've done a full camera review if you want a closer squint. Now, Samsung may be best known for its super pricey premium flagship phones, no surprises, they're constantly on the telly and on massive billboards on the side of skyscrapers, but it actually does some pretty decent affordable handsets as well, and its latest is the Galaxy A51, which will cost you around the £300 price point. I'm definitely a fan of the spangly design, with rainbow hues shooting out at your eyeballs whenever that shiny arse end catches the light. And flip the A51 over and that mighty 6.5-inch Super AMOLED screen offers a crisp and colourful view of your movies, games, whatever you like, minus this tiny little speck hole where the selfie cam rests. Samsung's Exynos chipset isn't quite as powerful as some rivals here like the Kirin 980, but the odd stutter aside, it is a reasonably smooth experience. And yeah, you can still get gaming on the likes of PUBG if you like. And the battery life is pretty decent too, although the likes of the Huawei and Honor handsets in this roundup will do you better if you are never off your smartphone. And likewise, I prefer the camera results from those Chinese rivals, which cope better with tricky lighting like HDR situations, but the A51 will still capture some good looking memories. And I do love Samsung's One UI launcher, which basically packs in the same features you get from those premium super expensive Galaxy phones. So that right there is my roundup of the very best sub £400 smartphones that you can buy for yourself right now here in good old Blighty. Of course, I've only included phones that I've personally tested and reviewed myself, so I might have missed off your own personal favourite, especially if it hasn't come to the UK. So definitely let us know your own picks down below in the comments. Please do poke subscribe, ding that notifications bell, and have yourselves a lovely week, people. Cheers everyone, love you.